Hey, good morning. So I'm sitting here getting dressed for work and got on my Concrete Note to Self t-shirt. But I wanted to talk about a dream that I had. And the dream had a message in it for me. And the message was to get up and stop. It was get up and stop running from my blessings. And what I took from that is, get up and start running from your blessings, or basically start running from your blessings. So what is that telling me? I had a dream about a man. This man was a man of my dreams. And the reason that he was the man of my dreams is because my dream is to have a mansion one day. Have a mansion, live in a mansion with me and my children. I never thought about getting married again. But in my dream, I was rushing. It was the holiday season. I was rushing. So I was running down a street to go to my car because I had to go to another store. This guy was running, trying to get my attention. And when he got close to me, he's like, hey, excuse me. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry. And I like shoved him off. So I shoved him off. So when I ran on, I bumped it. It was this lady running next to me. She said, girl, them men ain't no good. Child, don't even waste your time. Go and do what you got to do. So I'm like agreeing with her. Oh, yeah, child, they ain't no good. I ain't got time for that. Anyway, my life too busy. I'm telling her. And, and sometimes women, you ever notice that you bond more with a woman when you're speaking about misery than you do when you're speaking about a blessing? That's funny. So she disappeared. So as I'm running, before I got to my car, I ran into this other lady. She grabbed me. She said, oh, no, you running from your blessing. Come back here. And she grabbed me and she pulled me back all the way to where he was in line. I said, where are you taking me? She said, just follow me. Just be quiet. Follow me. She said, you're running too fast and you're missing your blessing. And then you're allowing somebody to snatch it from you. And I was like, wow. So I ran back and I stood there and I saw the guy. And I'm looking at him. And when I saw him the first time, I was not interested at all. I just shoot him off. But when I looked at him and I saw him in line, she went over there and she said something to him. And when he looked up and saw me, his eyes, everything about him was just of excitement. And he ran over there to me. I don't even know if he finished his purchase. He said, oh my God, it's you. I said, yes. And we started talking and I immediately felt something for him in my soul. And I was like, ooh, what is this? And we talked and he walked me to my car. And when he walked me to my car, he asked, can we exchange phone numbers? And I was hesitant. He said, don't tell me no out of fear. That's what he said. And I was like, okay. So he's like, can you give me a ride to my car? And I was like, I don't. He said, don't say you don't trust me because you're giving in to your fear. Isn't this is so powerful. Just listen. So it's like he was thinking my thoughts before I can say it. And the thoughts that I was thinking, all the thoughts that I had were all negative. Out of fear. With the trust issues, with the taking a chance issues. It's amazing that I had this type of dream, but I had to share it. So I'm getting late for work, but I'm going to share it. So he got in the truck. I trusted him enough. He got in the truck. I took him to his vehicle. So he's like, can I take you out this evening? I said, oh, a man that make plans. And we started laughing. He's like, yes. I was like, sure. He said, okay, let's exchange numbers. So he said, dial my number. So I dialed his number and we started laughing. I said, why you got me dialing your number? He said, so I can make sure I have your phone number. So we started laughing. So he had my phone number. We departed ways and I went my way and then he went his way. So that afternoon, like around 2 o'clock, he texted me. He said, can I call you to determine the plans that we're going to have this afternoon? I was so impressed with that. I called him. So he answered the phone. He's like, hello, Jacqueline. He said his grandma was named, when I told him my name was Jackie, he told me his grandma was named, he said, is that short for Jacqueline? My grandma's name is Jacqueline. I was like, yes. So he's like, I would like to take you out to a nice restaurant this afternoon to dinner. He's like, is 7 o'clock okay with you? I was like, sure. So we made plans, and he's like, can I come pick you up? I was like, no, can I meet you to the restaurant? He said, okay, no problem. So I met him to the restaurant. We got to the restaurant, had a beautiful dinner. It was nice, and it had a beach behind it. So at dinner, we exchanged a lot of, you know, we had a long conversation. It was a very valuable conversation. And we exchanged things about our lives, our paths, and he was a very optimistic type of a guy. To make the long story short, I ended up bypassing everything that I knew of my standards with this man. What I mean by that? This man, that night on the beach, almost like we instantly just fell in love with each other, right? So he told me that he didn't want to just date me. He wanted me to be his wife. So he's like, I want you right now to be my woman, where we're in a relationship and we're dating and we're together. And I agreed, which is something that I would never do because I would think about it, right? Answer would immediately be no, because I had to think about it, you know? And I, that night, we went our separate ways. We met up again for lunch, breakfast, dinner, all these things. Now, mind you, here's another thing. This was on a weekend when I usually have my children. But this particular weekend, I had insisted that their dad start keeping them on the weekend like he's supposed to. And I insisted, and I followed through with that. Usually, I'll give in and I was like, I'm not doing nothing, so I'll keep the children. But this particular day, I wanted to go out shopping, so he had to keep the kids. So that was like a divine connection. So then, the other thing that I got from my dream was, wow, my life has been filled with a lot of standards that don't work for me. Whew. A lot of standards that don't work for me. I would have never went back and met a guy and then took him, rode him in my car, and I didn't even know him, to his vehicle, then go out to dinner with him, then go to his house, didn't even really know this man, but trusted the feelings that I was having instead of thinking it through in my mind. So when I woke up, I was thinking about all these things that happened. I was like, oh my God, I have been living my life in a bubble. Because usually every weekend I got my kids. And because I have my kids, I tell myself that I don't have nothing to do, nowhere to go. But I have to change that. I can't just continue. It's like, how you going to find, how is your blessing supposed to find you when you're not in the right places for it to find you? My blessings isn't going to find me at home in my house watching my children. I have to get out and live. So that's how this blessing found me. I got out and I was living, not knowing that it was probably already there waiting for me. And sometimes, another thing that I wanted to say, sometimes we have to let go of what we are holding on to, because sometimes it's holding us up from our blessings. And I'll call it this. We're holding on to our misery. And our misery caused us to lose our blessings. Like, a lot of us are single, but we're not in a places where the blessing of this man can find us. And what I mean by that is not even in a physical place where he could find us, but some of us is not in a mental place where he can find us. We are repeating our misery from a man from our past. And we have all these things about what we stand for, but our standards isn't helping us stand. Our standards are helping us stay in misery, stay in fear, stay in a poverty mindset of no abundance. And so our worth is here in our misery. We don't think we deserve anything. We don't think we're worth anything. We don't value ourselves enough to get out there and live the life that we really want to live. You understand? We're sitting in our misery. When I'm home in my house and I don't want to get dressed up, do my hair, but I keep telling myself in the mirror, oh, I love me. I love me. Love is an action word. So if I love me, why am I sitting at home on the sofa? If I love me, you only have one life. You have to get up and live it. And not only get up and live it, leave that misery behind, man. Those standards that we have, we don't trust people. We have trust issues. We have, we're not going to do nothing for the first time. We have issues that we got hurt by a man in our past or a circumstance in our past. So we, in the present, still have that in front of us. And so we miss the blessing. The blessing could be a man, a good man that we miss because we're miserable. And so we blow him off. The blessing could be a better job. The blessing could be leaving your job to grow your business. Your best blessing could be in your business idea that you have been sitting on a sofa for 12 years watching Real Housewives, and your dream is still sitting in the box. You're not living your dream. You're living a nightmare. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. But anyway, this dream was so powerful, I had to get up and make a video about it before I went to work. Anyway, it's Conquering Jackie. I have a boutique, Always Stay Conquering. You could go there and get these lovely t-shirts. See, this is a conquering note to self, okay? This is a conquering note to self moment about pursuing your blessings instead of pursuing your misery, okay? So let your blessings find you, not your miseries keep you from finding your blessings. Have a good morning.